Welcome to another edition of Markets Hunters. I am your host, Hunter Gaylor. Thank you for joining me today. We've got a lot of great news to cover. I've got a stack of stuff here to go through. We're going to be bringing in John Lai, who's the CEO of PetVivo Holdings. He's been on a lot of our programs, so we're very excited to speak with him as we dive into the market of what's going on with his company and what's going on in the pet healthcare space as he's revolutionizing the technology within the healthcare space. So we're very much looking forward to speaking with him. And so without further ado, welcome to Markets Hunter. Welcome everyone back to Markets Hunters. I am your host, Hunter Gaylor, and joining me live today is John Lai. I'm going to bring John Lai in as the CEO of PetVivo. Great to have you back on the program. How are you today, sir? I'm
doing well. I'm glad to be on here, Hunter.
So, John, I'd like to really hit the ground running. I want to go back to an article, a press release that came out on August 7th as we're kind of moving in. And you just recently announced your results for the first quarter ending in June 30th. And I'd like to take a little bit of time setting up. You know, we've been through a lot over the past 2 quarters of this year. And I think it's important to note some of the things that have gone on from you announcing Dr. Jeremy Kaplan, who joined your PetVivo Holdings as the research director. And of course, that was a key addition for the research and development of your team, along with the fact that you've achieved a record more than 450 veterinarian clinics across 47 states, where you're expanding the SPRYNG product and development and obviously started the human aspect of it. So let's go to the quarter ending, and then I'd like to dive into a couple of questions, John.
Sure. So we announced comparable quarter year to year. It was a little over 100% gain. We were looking for better traction. What happened was, they had some turmoil at turnover at MWI. And we talked about this in last earnings call, where we had Spencer Brightup, the former VP of sales and supply chain. And he talked about how they're getting things straightened out and refocus, and they have. We're seeing the pickup in sales again from the previous quarter from MWI.
Well, I mean, and is that just a testament to the fact that you're seeing all of these new veterinarians, as the release said, 450. In fact, I think the exact number is 450 clinics across 47 states. And you are, quote, rapidly approaching the elite status of distribution of our life-changing product SPRYNG with OsteoCushion to 500 clinics. And that was a quote by you back on July 20th. So what are your comments on something? I mean, that's incredible.
So if you look at us back when we first signed on MWI, we were approximately 50 clinics. So from October of 2022 to June of 2023, because we were over 450 in June of 2023, because we get the reports once a month of all the clinics that are ordered for the month, and we see new clinics from MWI as well as us. I would suspect we're over the 500 right now. I don't have the reports yet. They'll come to us, real soon. Also, we're in 47 states. So with that being said, it kind of alters my marketing strategy from focusing more now on social media, driving the various successes we're having to the consumers and the vet techs, because they will now help us push into the veterinary clinics where they're asking their vet about the product, and hence the vets will be looking onto our website and contacting our salespeople. And we're actually seeing that in the Northeast United States, because we did do I don't want to say a pilot, but we did launch and push aggressively in that area, and we got really good traction. If you look at Long Island and New York City, we're picking up very good clinics. So we're getting good traction into the major cities within the United States now too.
Well, no, I think that's incredible. And I just want to add out for, the viewing audience, you have a pipeline of over 17 products for the treatment of animals and people. And that's a portfolio of over 19 patents, which protects the company's biomaterials products production, process, and methods of use. And of course, your leading product of that is SPRYNG, which we've seen take off from a global perspective, if you will, especially in the equestrian marketplace. So I think that's a testament to where this can go, especially with 47 states. And, our condolences goes out to those in Hawaii right now because of the recent fires that have gone on. So we hope that people are safe there. But when we look at this, John, one of the things that it notes is, with the total number of vets, including small animals, that are now offering your product, how much has this grown? Because you said from 50 to now closer to 500 now. I mean, in that short period of time, that's an incredible growth trajectory. Where do you see it going from here?
Well, I feel it's going to accelerate from the standpoint is that peer review published paper we talked about, I think on the last show,
Yes.
written by Dr. Grubb. I think vets are starting to kind of look at that and say, hold it, she's saying this could be frontline use. And what frontline use means really is, you got choice of NSAIDs or SPRYNG or something else that's, first use. I think that bodes well for us from a positioning standpoint, having that type of people start coming out and writing and endorsing and redefining the use, because anytime you have a paradigm shift, it is very expensive and time consuming to re-educate the vets. But when you have leaders like this coming out and making statements like that in peer review articles, it helps us, so we feel that will lead to much faster adoption. And keep in mind, the NSAID market in the United States, that's the gold standard first product that every vet uses, is about 385 million a year.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible market. I mean, we've seen, a lot of game-changing drugs in the marketplace that have recently come out. We don't need to name any of the competitors, but when you get the human version of the product, if we just look at the OA market, and we won't get into certain drug names, John, but if we just look at the OA market, you're looking at over a $240 billion market. And even if you were able to capture just 1% of that, that's a tremendous value that would just, obviously, when you look at the amount that you have, what the current stock price is, that potential, the writing's on the wall. Would that be a correct analysis?
Yeah, that was part of the strategy when we went and got all the analysis by the CROs, independent CROs, for our portfolio and which products we want to pursue within the human market. And our dog studies, our horse studies, all that reinforces the likelihood of this product having similar results in the human side of the market. So the Ethos study, we had the first cohort completed end of March. The other version has been completed and will be presented at a pretty major conference first week of October, I think. I think that study will establish, cruise ship injuries in the area of 65 to 70%, where we had very good improvement. And in theory, you're looking at that translating into the human market. Probably 65 to 70% of the people may not need to have surgery if they got injected with SPRYNG. So that's a significant cost savings to the healthcare system, as well as to the consumers that don't have to dish out $35,000, $40,000 for a ACL replace or a repair versus having to SPRYNG and then rehabbing.
Well, right. I mean, I just want to give a comparison here. When you talk about rehab, if you look at the overall weight, which has caused hundreds of billions of dollars in joints and ligament surgeries because of overweight, we're seeing new products come onto the market which are having a profound effect in the marketplace. Right? If you look at the dogs and the horses results, it would indicate that would be the same for humans. So this product could essentially save the healthcare system billions. Is that something you would agree with?
Yeah, and if you look at it from a dog standpoint, when dogs get lame, just like humans, they tend to be less active. And obesity is the number one cause of diabetes and cancer in humans. And that has a similar ratio within the dog side. So if we can get the animals active and that will help reduce that cost. And actually, PetVivoCares.org, they had a video of 2 labs that were extremely overweight because they couldn't exercise. We donated the syringes because the families were really poor and couldn't afford it. After the injection, the dogs are out running, and you can see like a month later, the dogs did get skinnier because of the exercise. We didn't say anything, but it's going to help the dogs' overall health care, in general.
Well, I think that's a exercise. I think obviously decreases the chance of obesity big time. So I mean, it's the same in humans. We look at animals as part of our families, and I think that's very important. So it's little things like this from a comparative perspective that I think are very important for the market. Now, I want to talk about one more point here, John. And that's important to focus on the sales ramp, but specifically to small animal vets, since many more dogs and cats, they're like humans in the majority of cases. Should we be seeing a huge sales ramp in the second half out from here?
Yeah, as the data comes out, because we have at least 5 studies that will have some type of abstract written form that gets presented at conferences. So we're pretty excited about that. So once that's completed, we always talked about getting corporate accounts and how fast of a growth rate that is. To give you an example, I think Mars owns 12,000 clinics. So once we have the data, we can take it to their medical board, which they're very aware of our product because we actually have a couple of the vets that sit on that board that's been a regular customers of ours for a while. So we feel the likelihood is pretty good once they have the medical data to support them approving it into the organization, corporate owned accounts. So I personally expect the worst case is we start picking some of these up in the first quarter of 2024. We may pick some up at year end, but it's really hard to tell because they don't meet all the time. These are outside board people, so they may meet once a quarter. So I just don't know their schedule.
Well, no, and I obviously with the fact that you've got numerous clinics across all these different states within the U.S., and then obviously the potential global impact from an equestrian perspective, and even a pet market on a global rollout as well, is tremendous. So it's going to be very interesting to follow, how the rest of this year plans out, John. So we're very excited about that. I'll give you the last line here. Anything else that I know we're looking forward to the peer-reviewed studies. We're looking forward to obviously the conferences. We're following you on LinkedIn and Twitter. And I just want a special note here while we have you, the PetVivoCares.com. I really encourage everyone to go to that. They really do some good work.
It's actually PetVivoCares.org. It's a nonprofit.
Oh, it's a nonprofit. Yeah. Okay, PetVivoCares.org. And we'll make sure we put those links in the description below as well and link it on the new X.com, which is Twitter. It's the same places. It's fine. But John, any last points that you'd like to cover here in closing?
Well, I think the next 12 months is going to be very exciting for our company as well as multiple pet owners, because I think they're going to see there's very good alternatives out there to save them costs and not have the multiple side effects in terms of using SPRYNG with OsteoCushion Technology. And if the vet doesn't know about it, I encourage them to tell their vets on their next visit, take a look at this product. It may be suitable for my dog as it gets older or if they start having lameness issues.
Well, I think that's a good note. And I'll just say here in closing, John, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. But the social media aspect is very important. So if you're taking pictures of your dog or your cat and you're seeing any type of ailments, as we've had guests on the past that have been vets that are users of the SPRYNG product and work very closely with PetVivo and do a lot of these studies, it's always important because when you take those videos to your vets, you can share and show the positive effects that SPRYNG's having. So we're really looking forward to that viral community reaching out to grow the veterinarian community as well. So we're excited for that. So there you have it, folks. John Lai, CEO, PetVivo. Thank you for being here on the program. I hope everyone finds the discussions intriguing, and we always dive deep. I mean, these are the discussions. They're enlightening, informative. We've been following PetVivo for a long time, and I'm excited to see the human aspect of this. I really am, just from a markets hunter perspective. So, John, Always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you, Hunter.
Thank you, John. And there you have it, folks. John Lai, incredible, insightful discussion as always, making incredible progress in the marketplace. So we're going to be following that. Don't forget to join us here live. We're across all channels. We're getting a new studio set up, so we're going to really be going out to the market strong with a lot more new content. Make sure you follow us, like, and subscribe on Markets Hunters. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Instagram, x.com/Hunter Gaylor. That will take you to the Markets Hunters podcast. Without further ado, we appreciate you joining. And as always, it's Market Hunters, and this is where you go to get the best information with a lot of opportunities to consider right here, coming to you live.
Coming to you live with the insight you need from the financials and political capitals of the world to the heart of innovation. This is Opportunities to Consider with your host, author, speaker, and corporate strategist, Hunter Gaylor.